All right. Hello, Caleb. If you want, you can introduce yourself and say what you're running for.
Yeah, hi, my name is Caleb Meese, and I am running for Denton City Council, place 5 at large. And so I'm excited to do this right now.
Yay! I'm excited that you took some time out for us. Let's see. The first three questions or so are going to be about public transit. So I'll just jump right in there. Very first question, question number one, what is your experience with using public transit? Have you used things like GoZone, Connect buses, or the A train?
Yeah, so I have used the Connect buses or the university buses a little bit, just because I wanted to look for a way that was cheaper to get to campus and back. But unfortunately, it was just a little unusable on a day-to-day basis. It took too much time out of my commute, and that's one of the reasons that I got interested in this. And then I actually just recently used the A train for the first time, and that was super fun. I love that. I really like trains. I had a fun time on it, and I went with my friends. So
Right on. I love that. Well, question number two. Um, Accessibility is a big issue in public transit. How do you plan to work with DCTA to address things like lack of safe sidewalks, unprotected bus stops, low route coverage, etc.?
yeah, so I actually have talked to a few people about this before. I used to work at Walmart, and some of my associates relied on DCTA. Um, and not only that, but they also talked to me about how there's so few sidewalks in Denton, that it makes it hard to even walk anywhere that they need to go. And so it just becomes a whole big thing on it's hard for them to get around. And it's these things that they have to rely on because they don't have a vehicle. And so my approach specifically to that is that we live in a town where there's multiple universities, and I'm sure that some of these students are studying some sort of, you know, transit or access or stoplights systems, ways to make traffic or public transportation or anything like that just more usable and safer and all that kind of thing. So using a combination of our already uh, accumulated resources is the best way, in my opinion, to do that.
Right on, right on. Um, Question number three. Dentonites have said that GoZone is inefficient, unreliable, and uncomfortable. How does GoZone factor into your plans for public transit improvement?
Yeah, it's a difficult question because I have met quite a few people who do rely on GoZone, just because specifically because the routes don't take them to where they need to go. And so with there being such like a disdain, I guess, for GoZone, I don't mind getting rid of it at all. I would so much rather get rid of that and then focus more on our buses, make more routes, make routes that people will need to go to, do surveys, talk to people. Where do you need to go? Where do you need to get picked up from? That kind of stuff. And so I'd rather put that money into our bus route system.
Right on. Let's see here. These next few questions are going to be more focused on housing. So, question number four, do you have any plans to expand resources for our unhoused population?
Yeah, 100%. I think we're doing a lackluster job right now on what we do and how we go about it. And so how we go about it is a very reactive way. And in a way that costs us more money than just being proactive about it and setting up these scenarios for people to help or to help people get out of these situations instead of just reacting to it whenever they're in the situation. And so first off, we want people to not get into these situations. We want people to not lose their home. Obviously, that's the first part. The second part is to help people who have already lost their home or who are on the street, and help them find a way to permanent shelter, not just a one night stay at a cramped, shelter. Find a way to permanent shelter. And so I'd really like to put more resources into not only more shelter, because we don't have that much as it is, but resources into getting people out of the shelters.
Right on. Let's see. And then question number 5. Rent continues to increase to absurd levels here in Denton. How would you address this issue?
Yeah, it's a tough one because um right now it's surging because we just let these private apartment complexes do whatever they want. And so I think we need to just put more regulations on them. That's really what I think should be done, is that there should be more regulations. I also think that some of the universities come into play with this as well, in the fact that these universities have started accepting so many people that they don't have room for all of their freshman students anymore. And so that's forcing them to start living outside of campus. And then that's allowing these apartment complexes to raise the prices to whatever they want because students need a place to live. And so fighting fighting back against the um, I guess private ownership that just get to charge whatever they want is a good way. Adding more regulations. It's all about what we specifically can do, because you can't just tell a complex to, hey, you need to lower your rent. And so it's working ways around what we can do.
Yes. I didn't even think about the campus issue, so that's an interesting call out. Let's see. Our last question is a cost of living question, and I understand that it's a lot of different factors that play into it, so feel free to say whatever you have to say. But question number 6 to close us out is people in Denton struggle to afford costs of living such as transportation, housing, groceries, etc. What do you hope to see the city do to make living here more affordable?
That's a good question. Yeah, so I mean, that's two of my biggest, I mean, really three of my biggest things is that transportation, housing, and helping our unhoused situation. And so I believe that these three factors all tie together completely. You affect one, it affects the other two. And no matter which one you affect, it's going to affect the other two in some kind of way. And so doing transportation is going to help people who don't own a car, don't own a vehicle, can't afford to own a vehicle, because owning a car is expensive. It really is, and it adds up year to year. Um, that's going to help people save money to put towards rent, to put towards a mortgage, housing, trying to control these insane rent prices from these private ownership. It's going to help people find more affordable options, creating more affordable options, filling in the missing middle, and then helping our unhoused situation. I mean, our 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 public's I'm sorry, our I guess emergency services, spend a lot of money on calls, and sometimes it's calls just to go out and see the person and then go back. And that's just it's taking up a lot of money. And so instead of using the money to just send them out there and say, hey, what's going on, and then go back, use that money towards finding a solution for that. Well, why are we just sending people out and not actually helping the person? And so kind of mixing all of these together, my goal is to make Denton a more affordable place overall, using several different methods. It can't just be from one thing. So I'd really like to see a mix of all of these things.
Right on. Well, I think that these are some pretty good answers. Thank you so much for taking time to do this with us. Is there anything else that you want to say and also maybe tell people like where they can find you or information about your campaign or anything like that?
Yeah, so I guess really just about me is that I love talking to people. I will say I'm a bit of an introvert, but I still love talking to people. And I want to know about people. I want to hear their life story. I want to hear, what they got going on, why they're in Denton, what brought them here, what made them stay. I want to hear about their life, their struggles, their ups and downs. I love hearing about people. And so if you have a story, message me, talk to me. You can find me on pretty much any social media at Meese for Denton. That's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. My email is calebashermeese. Asher is spelled Asher, at Gmail. It's a Gmail. And so just message me. Tell me about your story. Tell me what kind of problems that you have. Tell me what you want to see changes. And I'm all ears. I just want to hear what everybody has to say.
And for sure, we can link that information as well, anywhere that we post these videos. So we'll have that too.
Awesome.
But yeah, that is pretty much it. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for taking the time.